Hi guys, while I think that the UK government behind the scenes is struggling to implement the Northern Ireland Protocol, in public they seem to be willing to question its very validity. Lord Frost, the unelected bureaucrat who negotiated on behalf of Boris Johnson's government, continues to attack the protocol in public, and instead of trying to work within the framework of the protocol to resolve any issues facing Northern Ireland, he instead trashes it. He seems more interested in hearing the opinions of the tiny loyalist community in Northern Ireland than the general public there. This anti-protocol rhetoric has not gone unnoticed, it seems, and the EU has responded to the latest attack on this part of the agreement that was co-signed by Boris Johnson's government. In an interview she gave to the Irish Independent, Commissioner Mairéad McGuinness said that the UK was playing a very dangerous game by inflaming tensions in Northern Ireland. Her most pointed anger was directed at Britain's Brexit Minister, David Frost, who she said was trying to wash his hands off and shred a deal he agreed with the European Union. She said, and I quote, "You can't wash your hands of an agreement that you shaped and made and signed. It just isn't credible to do that. And I'm sure that there are other countries, including the US, that are looking at what the UK are doing and maybe asking questions about the credibility of doing any deals with the United Kingdom." Relations between the EU and the UK have continued to sour over the last number of months, but things seem to have reached a new low when in March Lord Frost unilaterally extended the grace periods on safety checks on some goods moving from Great Britain to Northern Ireland. He recently described the Northern Ireland Protocol, which is part of the withdrawal agreement, remember, something that he negotiated back in 2019 as unsustainable. How can something that was used as a tool to help Boris Johnson win an 80-seat majority be now called unsustainable by a leading Tory? McGuinness suggested that perhaps he wasn't aware of the details of the agreement he actually negotiated, and he wasn't aware of the impact which he claimed stretched credulity. It is a truly nonsensical position to take. He is not some backbencher complaining about something that he didn't get a chance to read. He was front and centre. This is him trying to avoid blame for something he sold to both the people of Great Britain and the people of Northern Ireland. Because Boris Johnson's government ended the Brexit transition period so quickly, it has meant that many things were not in place when the UK left it at the end of last year. Now both the UK and the EU are trying to resolve a whole range of issues involving customs posts, food exports and even pet passports. McGuinness also suggested that the EU is not expecting any real breakthrough coming from a meeting due to take place next week between Lord Frost and the European Commission's Vice President Šefčovič. She said, and I quote, "I don't think any of us would have predicted on January the 1st that we would be running into the 6th month and that the protocol would be taking a battering. And it is being battered. And it's being battered by the UK, who agreed to it." The EU has been angered by how many British media outlets have portrayed its position on the protocol. While the pro-Tory, pro-Brexit media is expected to pour hate on the European Union, the BBC has been accused in some quarters of letting anti-protocol lies go unchallenged. She said the EU moved mountains day and night to achieve something that would both respect the UK's decision to leave the European Union, but at the same time protect peace on the island of Ireland. The European Union does not want to be blamed for mistakes Boris Johnson's government has made over the years. It doesn't want to be blamed for false promises made by Brexiteers both in the government and outside it. They will allow a certain amount to go unchallenged, but we seem to be reaching a tipping point here. The UK risks facing tariffs being imposed on it if it continues down this road. Boris Johnson's government sold the public a lie that Northern Ireland's status would not change in respect to Brexit, then tried to maintain that lie by going to Northern Ireland and convincing both politicians and business leaders that no checks would be put in place. This was a lie that he knew would come back to bite someone on the arse in the future. His plan, it seems, was to make sure that the EU got the blame. The European Commission's President, Ursula von der Leyen, has said on numerous occasions that the EU will not hesitate to use the tariffs option if required. Europe has also launched an infringement procedure against the UK for breaching the agreement, which could ultimately end up in a court case. The solution to this is for the UK to tone down the rhetoric. work with the European Union to maintain the protocol and find solutions within its framework. The solution is not to lie to the people of Northern Ireland again by saying that the EU is the problem and that the protocol is unsustainable. While this type of crap is permissible in other parts of the UK, it runs the risk of undermining peace in Ireland. Something perhaps Boris Johnson and his Brexiteers care little about. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?